Hello and welcome to Dice Punks, a tabletop role-playing podcast where we focus on playing full campaigns in less well-known systems. This week, a robot runs amok in a crime basement. Hello and welcome. I'm Adam, your friendly neighborhood game master, and joining me are...
Hello, I'm Drew, and I'll be playing Cato Burke, who, as far as they know, plan's going great.
Hi, I'm Robin, and I'll be playing Callisto Armitage, the officer currently in said crime basement.
Hi, I'm Dez, and I'll be playing Matchstick, who currently has no idea what's going on and is not thrilled about it.
Hello, I'm Nick, and I will be playing Ing. Things are not going okay. My friends are in danger, and also our Officer Armitage is there.
Damn.
Yeah, it's cold. Thanks, players.
Not the mama.
Not the mama.
Wow, we are throwing all of the dubious old references.
Yeah, jeez.
The listener may
You're
or may
a
not have
dubious
heard.
old reference.
Your mom is a dubious old reference?
I mean, by corollary,
Yes.
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 Anyway, now that we've gotten that hopefully out of our system,
We're off to a great
Already
start.
We've arrived at the snaps-based combat part of the campaign. Yeah.
let us contextualize our crime basement with our recap of last time, courtesy of the currently endangered Cal.
Officer Armitage, log, badge number A41214. I don't know why I'm doing this. I doubt the department shrink is going to follow up on my homework. But on the off chance things go poorly, at least there's a record. Just one. I've recorded over the others. That damn droid always asked me to start with what's happening, then be mindful of my feelings or some spiritual granola crap. Anyway, here's what's happening. After preparing for our mission, I met up with the kids at some sort of fusion cuisine restaurant. I don't get this generation sometimes, but the kids didn't seem to get the restaurant either and watered some fake plants with what appeared to be hot beer. At any rate, we worked it out that I would be bidding on the mysterious item using a cryptocurrency called hash. Another thing I won't ever get. And we got transport for the presumably illegal tech. I got into the market fine enough with my disguise, though I did have to explain all of the drones. I checked Bacon and found an ex-PSS officer that had defected to the Terabyte Boys, which probably isn't the best career choice. At any rate, there were two people of interest in the bidding. A posh-looking android with a fancy chassis and a scowling person in a cap, face mask, and business suit. I'll have to get intel on them later. Everything went smoothly until the Terabyte Boys decided to show off my newly won tech. At word to life, flung one wannabe thug into the wall and proceeded to recite pi threateningly. How am I feeling about this? About the same as always. It's not like you're ever going to listen to these. End log.
Brilliant.
Awesome.
Love that. So we rejoin the action here in the aforementioned crime basement with Officer Armitage. About a dozen bidders, a smattering of Terabyte Boys minus the one who got KO'd against the wall, and this thing, this polyhedral hovering betendrilled thing reciting pi. Which means that I had a cause to review the combat rules for Hardwired Island. It is relatively straightforward. You get an initiative roll, which is your 2d6 roll plus your quick plus any applicable specialties. That determines the order of actions. But beyond that, you can have tags for the arena that combat is taking place in. This one has the tag close quarters. Guns are disadvantaged against melee. And that is the only particular effect here. Otherwise, there are a variety of attack actions that one can take using their 2d6 roll plus whichever of their quick or tough attributes applies most in the circumstance. The main interesting elaboration is that attack actions have making an attack roll and doing something else. All of them have sort of two components. You can take cover, distract, flush out, grab, hunker down, pin down, run away, or rush. In addition to making non-combat actions in a combat scenario, which we can cover as it is relevant. In the broad strokes, Cal, you are fully aware of everything going on in the basement because you're there. You're watching it happen. Byrne and Kato, pretty much out of the loop, not really aware of what's happening here, just kind of waiting on pins and needles for some kind of news. Ing, you have been watching a somewhat limited view of what's going on in the basement via the surveillance equipment installed on your drone Mama, who, with the rest of your drones, accompanied Cal into the basement. So you have some idea of what's going on, if not a wide picture. For the majority of the other basement occupants have started running toward the door, which is up a moderate flight of stairs from this relatively bare concrete basement room. There's not a whole lot of cover available. There's the raised platform and the little dais on top of it, and that's pretty much it in terms of available cover. It's a fairly small room for the amount of stuff in it. And the activated device is currently hovering, seemingly not particularly interested in doing much of anything specific up on the dais. But judging by what you just saw, it's probably not too far out from, acting destructively once more. It continues to recite digits of pi, which I do not have memorized and so will not be verbalizing. The most interesting phenomenon is that since it started reciting them, it seems to be gradually speeding up.
Well, maybe it'll just shut down when it gets to the end.
If you say that out loud, I give you the dirtiest look.
I absolutely do not. That was out of character.
So
I figured, but also,
Cal, you are obviously the one who is most involved here. So if you could roll 2d6 plus your quick. I don't think you have any initiative specialties, but if I'm wrong, this would be the time to roll them.
I don't think so. That's a 6 and a 5 on the Den die. Thank you, Den. And +2.
All right. So that's a total of 13.
Lucky number.
All right. Let's see. All right. So because you're going to end up having the first action here, according to the rolls I just made, I am going to jump briefly out of the basement to where Ing is watching this, right? So Ing, whatever you do is going to be simultaneous with what Cal starts getting up to. But as you see this device body this terabyte boy, what are you doing?
I sprint towards the entrance, and a split second later, I tell the group, "We've got to go. Cal's in trouble."
All right. So we will rotate back out of the basement every once in a while to get updates on how all this is going. But the immediate thing, of course, Cal, your action currently.
So we have 10 group prep. I have 2 prep remaining.
Mhm.
Are people comfortable if I use some group prep since we have an abundance?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd say this is very much what it's for.
This is the
Okay.
place for it.
Yes, excellent. Use it or lose it sort of deal. So, you can spend 2 prep on a combination, correct? Of actions. What I'm thinking about doing is using a flashback and then activating an item.
All right.
Flashback first.
Mhm.
So the intel I got on this thing is that it should not be activated in a lab.
Mhm.
Which of course got me thinking that it shouldn't be activated at all, and on the off chance that these terabyte boys were consistent in their intelligence, I should show up with some means of countering an activation of illicit tech. In which case, this means working with my good friend on the inside to get an EMP device.
All right, so you've been able to source a anti-electronic electromagnetic pulse device from somewhere within the bowels of campus security. And the way this is essentially going to work is I'm going to roll saves versus this device for anything in range that might be affected by it. So you're going to hear me rolling for a moment, and then I'm going to describe what happens. So to set the scene, you sort of pull this device out from one of your, many pockets, in your bulky and loose fitting garments, and like slide it across the floor towards the machine. And it doesn't do anything visibly dramatic, but it makes a very fun sci-fi sound, and some lights kind of blink on it. And then we will see what happens here. So, series of rolls, system by system.
I'll also put whatever the recommended distance is between myself and this thing.
You get as close
So-
as you can within the basement.
Mm-hmm. Gotta protect the drones and I guess all the metal on my body.
Mhm. So, the device, once its lights blink a little bit, makes a sound that I will represent approximately as and immediately some of the people in the basement sort of flinch or stagger on their way to the exit, and the relatively fancy android that was bidding against you sort of staggers against a wall and kind of leans there for the time being. The effect on the actual machine that attacked the terabyte boy is a little harder to discern, but you do sort of learn from watching it during this that its systems seem to be relatively isolated from one another, because one of the tendrils that it is extending just sort of like flops limply to the ground, and it does sort of like a little jarring like bob in midair, but does not fully deactivate. It would seem that at least some of its systems are shielded effectively against the device that you acquired. So, next up, the device acts. One of the tendrils sort of snakes up, looking around seemingly, though that doesn't seem to have any sensor arrays on it. It has an optical array that seems more for focusing like a laser tool. And sure enough, it has a sort of crackling for about half a second that strikes one of the fleeing bidders in the back of the knee and sends them sort of like tumbling into a somersault There's a little bit of smoke, and you can smell burned clothing and a little bit of burned flesh through it. At the same time, a different tendril with a sort of sound fires some kind of goop out of it at the android that's having a little bit of trouble against the wall. Though that android does just barely manage to basically fall down against the wall, so that the goop splashes on the wall instead of onto the android, where it makes a sort of disgusting hissing sound, seemingly corroding some of the concrete. Most of the others in the basement are now working their way up the stairs. You are unsure of whether the Terabyte boys have unlocked the door at the top or not, but you do get another action at this point.
Cool. I guess the most copley thing I can do is try to get the fancy android out of their current situation.
All right.
I don't feel safe engaging fully with this thing until people are clear of it.
Mm-hmm.
Just essentially drag them so that they can safely evacuate the area.
Let's go ahead and have from you a tough roll.
Okay. Man, that took forever to land on a 1. So just 6 total. I don't have any tough, so.
Okay. So you drag this android not totally inactive, but at the moment seeming to sort of struggle sort of towards the exit stairs, but you don't make a lot of good progress. Certainly not what you were, sort of hoping to be able to do. For the size and scale of this chassis, it is quite heavy. I guess it's a relatively classy high-dollar chassis, and, things that are more expensive are heavier, so, it makes a certain amount of sense. But it is not helping you currently. In the meantime, the pie reciting device that the Terabyte boys activated sort of rotates and moves forward a little bit and takes its various actions. It fires off its optical array, its laser weapon. You kind of get the feeling that this is not intended as a weapon. It seems more like a tool. At a different bystander, this time a Terabyte boy, who tries to dodge, but gets sort of singed across the upper part of their chest for their trouble. And uses that thruster we saw at the end of last session to blast another Terabyte boy back, though this one does not hit the wall in quite as catastrophic a way as the previous one did. Instead, just collapsing into a sort of ungainly heap on the ground. After that, though, the Terabyte boy with the LCD mask, who is emceeing the whole thing, has sort of scrambled over to a wall that he's put his back to, and pulled out an honest-to-God firearm that it decides to fire at the device.
Good.
In fact,
keep it distracted.
The shot lands on one of these sort of polyhedral vertices on this device and seems to crack it, if not disrupt the internals very much. It is, to use the lingo, hella loud in this small basement. Back to you.
I like how the lingo is late 90s California, but in space.
I'm pretty sure that's how you make sci-fi. My media studies
honestly
have shown
fair.
Me.
Yeah, I figured since the gun seems to be working, question mark. Anyway, I'd take mine out and start blasting. Once I ensure that civilians are Well, first and foremost, I should ask if there's anyone else that is not a terabyte boy, because they got themselves into this, so I'm not too terribly concerned about their welfare.
Everybody who's not a terabyte boy is behind you, which doesn't mean
Okay.
they're totally safe from potential ricochets in this space this size, but they have a lot less chance of getting hit than you do.
Yeah. I'm gonna be the first time. Yeah, so I am going to fire my gun. It can attack multiple targets at once, 3 to 5 clusters, so I'm gonna just aim for multiple limbs.
Okay. So this is going to be a quick roll,
Okay.
and you're going to roll at disadvantage because of the close quarters. So 3 dice, drop the highest.
Sweet. I'm going to spend a prep.
Mhm.
Hold on, let me see. So if I boost a roll, that negates the disadvantage, right?
Yeah, negating one source of disadvantage is actually one of the uses of prep. Yeah.
Okay. I know it's one of the uses of prep. I'm thinking about using my impulsiveness to avoid spending prep.
Ah, I see.
Mhm.
So yeah, no, let me just double check the lingo real quick. I'm pretty sure you have it right.
Actually, I may just go ahead and spin prep and boost this one because I want it to go well and don't want to accidentally ricochet.
Okay. So that would be spending 1 prep to get rid of the disadvantage and then using impulsive to boost the roll.
Mm-hmm.
That works. Let's do it.
Okay. So how does that? The 3 dice?
Yeah. Boosting is adding an additional d6. So you're going to roll 3d6 instead of 2. Yeah. So spending the prep to negate the source of disadvantage and then using impulsive to boost a roll for free.
So that's going to be 6 and 8. So have 4, 4, and 6. So 14 plus quick.
Mhm.
So 16.
Okay. So you pull out your sidearm and fire off a few shots, 2 of which impact the limbs, seemingly to some effect, and 1 of which impacts the body to uncertain effect, though the thing does wobble and gets louder in its recitation of the digits of pi as your strike hits. Feels pretty like you have done some damage. Everyone's ears are now ringing with the successive shots, but honestly, could have gone a lot worse.
Mm-hmm.
The device, as it were, takes its action now and just barely aims its laser tool over your head, still reeling from the shots that you directed at it. Let's see. Roll your quick, please.
Okay. That's going to be 9.
You are sort of breathing a sigh of relief at avoiding this laser tool when another of its limbs comes to bear on you and sprays tiny metallic shrapnel at you. These are not so large or so velocitous as to do real damage, though they do sting. Instead, you are going to have -1 on all actions until you make a cool or tough save while attempting an attack. So you are sort of trying to escape this blast of tiny metallic shrapnel until further notice. The LCD masked terabyte boy and his gun just sort of blast and don't actually connect this time, which leads us outside. Ing, you have been running in this direction while these actions pass very quickly downstairs. You are paying half a mind to them, sort of as you go, and you are now sort of like in a position to interact with the door leading into the basement, provided that the guards they left outside don't stop you, and they do seem to be somewhat distracted by the commotion within, and or to do something with your drones.
So choice point there. Yes, I couldn't do both at the same time. Send
Not this
do
round.
something with the drones and sprint. Yeah. Okay. All right. I think step one will be to send the autonomous collective at the device.
Okay.
Aiming to distract, not to injure. Just kind of swarming, flying away, being a general kind of nuisance. Gadfly, if you will.
Gosh, I hope I
Well-
don't hit one.
In that case, give me a robotics roll, if you would. Let's say 2d6 plus clever plus robotics.
So that's 9 plus 3 is 12 plus robotics is 2 is 14 total.
All right. Your swarm starts to annoy the device in a seemingly relatively effective way, as it starts to sort of swivel rapidly back and forth on sort of a top-bottom axis and to flail a little bit. We'll account for that next time it takes an action. At this point, Burn, Kato, you were just kind of like waiting tensely for news of what happened in the basement when Ing pelted off, yelling something about activation, and you kind of lost the rest of it. So what, if anything, are the two of you doing?
My first thing I think would be to ask Burn whether we have eyes inside. Do we know what's happening?
We don't.
Naturally.
No, the only secure decision these chuckle fucks made was to decide not to have internal cameras hooked up to fucking anything.
The only secure decision is the most dangerous possible decision. That sounds about right. Well,
Like you say.
we have no way of knowing how bad it is, but we should assume bad.
Yeah. Someday, if and when Ing decides to trust me, I may ask for eyes in his robots.
Well, they have eyes, just the googly kind.
Fair, but also not what I meant.
I am beaming in an unhelpful way. Okay, so we need to help.
I just restrained myself from commenting on how that's a dad joke.
We're at the edge. We're at the edge of acknowledging something, but it is not.
No,
it is
we're
not
not.
this day. No. Well, we're ever on the edge. Okay. We need to help. How do we help? I think we need to try and bust the place open. I mean, better to be not trapped in there with whatever it is than to be trapped in there with whatever it is.
As long as it's not a biological agent, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. Is it a biological agent? We don't know. We have no way to know.
It probably isn't.
Okay, let's play those odds, and let's crack this makeshift auction house open like a egg.
The temptation to have Sim just pop up and start talking about deviled eggs right now, but I won't do it. I won't do it. Can't make me.
The intrusive thought has been acknowledged and thereby robbed of its power.
All right. So we will check back
Is that
in.
how I get rid of them?
Not all of its power, but some.
We will check back in with the two of you momentarily. In the meantime, Cal, while you are, sort of resetting your aim, taking in what has happened since your burst fire, the swarm of drones clinging to your torso and hips have lifted off and variously flown, scuttled, walked, crawled, run, glided towards this device and begun to harry it. This to you reads as just like an absolute good from where you are, other than the fact that you might hit them if you fire at it again.
Yeah.
I would like to get just an incidental roll from you before you declare an action here. If I could get a, let's say, cool roll from you, please.
So 7 plus 2 is 9.
Okay. Mostly what you are hearing is the noise of the device and of the drones, people shouting and screaming and yelling and trying to press up the stairs. You can't make out what is being said, but you do register that there is a somewhat anomalously calm voice in a stereotypically male register somewhere behind you.
Okay. So there's no way of kind of honing in on what's being said, or at least assessing who is doing the speaking?
I mean, that could be your action for this round.
I imagine it's the guy in the ball cap, and does it sound like the auction voice of the guy placing?
He just rolled historically poorly. So yes, it does sound rather like the fellow in the ball cap and face mask.
Cool. I'm going to keep firing.
Okay, all right. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm gonna. I am going. I don't. Well, no, they're too far away to hear. So I'm just going to try to not hit the drones as best I can and aim low and hope they go high.
All right. So your base roll is going to be a quick roll.
Mm-hmm. Can I spend another group prep to boost it?
Group?
Yeah, I mean, if you're asking for the group's approval, I heartily approve.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll do that then. And
3d6 plus
so
quick.
rolling 3.
Yeah.
So that is 6, a 4, and a 5.
So that's a total of 16?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So you sight in and you fire another burst with your sidearm here. And this time, all of your shots hit the same plate, and it cracks and lets the last shot into the internals. Sparks pour out, and the device remains sort of in its stabilized, kind of floating, slowly rotating posture, but its various limbs sort of like thrash Kermit arm style all around it. Not for very long, but in a way that suggests to you that you have done some degree of damage to it. The device's turn is current, and just to set the scene a little bit more, it is currently freaking digits of pi in sort of a synthesized voice at an ear-splitting volume. Like, it has gradually gotten louder and faster, and it is well beyond digits of pi that, I mean, certainly Cal would be familiar with, but that most people who haven't made a study of it would be familiar with. But it just keeps going. And it is somewhat frantic now in its actions. Its optical tool fires off a burst at the LCD masked terabyte boy and hits him in the mask, causing a shower of sparks and a very uncomfortable zapping sound, and he bowls over backwards. You are unsure of his status currently. Otherwise, I forgot your penalty from being showered in shrapnel, which doesn't make a huge difference to your shot, but I should say that you firing should have given you the opportunity to make a cool or tough save. Take your pick. Let's go ahead and roll that.
Okay. Cool save. I got a 3. A 2 and the 1 on the dice, and then plus 2 is 5.
So your penalty endures. So again, you still did hit on the shot. Very little changes about that. But You should now roll a quick or tough save at -1, and then I will narrate what happens.
Okay. 6, 3, 2, so that's 11. And then at -1, that would be 10.
Okay. One of its tendrils sort of rotates a sort of like iris cover open and then fires a set of small hooks on the end of thin cables in your direction, grabbing into various parts of your clothes and beginning to reel you in. This is less than ideal.
Mm-hmm.
You maintain your feet, but you can't, like, kind of pull back against it effectively. You are getting closer to it as it reels you in until you can make that save. The LCD masked terabyte boy makes some kind of grunting noise behind you, but you are unable to see exactly what's going on there. Ing, your drones have effectively sort of like distracted this thing, but not to great effect. Is there anything in particular that you or your drones would like to do currently?
If it would be a separate action to tell them to do something else, then I will go in directly. If I could just tell them to keep doing what they're doing and go in directly, then I'll do that.
The second option is a possibility. You have no idea if the door is locked or not, and there are 2 terabyte boys sort of standing facing the door, looking at each other nervously, murmuring to each other, and gripping what you assume to be weapons somewhere under their outerwear.
I go through the door, or I try to.
Okay. As it turns out, as you step forward, the door is locked shut. And it turns out what the 2 guards are talking about is whether or not they should unlock it, because it does sound like pandemonium down there, but they're also not sure about letting that pandemonium out into the street. So you have an opportunity here to either attempt something with the door or to speak to these guards.
I will try speaking to the guards.
Okay. Let's go ahead and roll your cool, and then we'll get your sort of actual dialogue after that.
That's 9 on the dice plus cool is 2 for a total of 12.
9 plus 2 would be 11.
I mean, in some worlds.
Sure.
For very large values of 2.
What do you say to these guys?
Yes, absolutely. Open the door.
One of them goes, see what we gotta let him out. We don't know what's going on in there. We gotta let him out. We gotta get in there. And the other one goes, no, you dumbass. If the thing woke up, it's gonna get out if we open the door. And they kind of start ignoring you past that while they argue.
I would say more that may be ignored, saying like, I'll take care of it. Close the door behind me.
We will get to their reaction to that in your next round. Burn, Kato. Checking back in with y'all.
I am messaging ne'er-do-wells, miscreants, and other useful and good people to know, saying that the thing I was warning them about, where the terabyte boys might be messing up the neighborhood, is coming to pass, and that we probably need to crack open their cellar of iniquity lest they destroy the entire neighborhood.
Roll a cool for me, please.
Happy to.
I love your phrasing.
That was beautiful.
Truly a wretched auction of scum and villainy. That's a 3 and a 4.
And your cool is 0, but I think we can apply your criminal underworld here, which is another +2.
For a total of, that shouldn't be that hard, 9.
It shouldn't, and yet.
Here we are. But, 2 is unstable, as we learned on the last roll. So
Yeah, well, all you get immediately back is a local email scammer of your distant acquaintance messaging back, lol. Burn?
Hate that for
Anything
you.
in particular?
Trying to find networks that might have cameras.
Okay, let's go ahead and, for some giggles, have you roll your hacking.
Sure. That is a 15.
Okay. You are rapidly sort of investigating nearby kind of nodes, and they have been frustratingly careful about getting anything too close to the entrance. The best you can get is at the mouth of the alley that leads to the entrance to the basement, but it's not facing the alley.
Is there any network interior to the place? They had to have done something to get the payment.
Sure. The network is like in the warehouse. It appears that whatever they were doing on the payment was essentially on the cell network rather than on any local infrastructure.
I cannot express the degree to which I dislike these chuckle fucks.
I don't really register that because I'm still fuming at lol.
Yeah. The restraint you just exercised in using dislike there amuses me greatly.
I should also remind the listener, though it is not relevant to anything we are currently doing, that I have a fucking mag lift with me that I got when we thought we were going to just transport this thing. So I'm hauling that behind me like a big flat albatross.
The flat albatross is going to be the name of my band. It's a drone metal outfit.
I love it.
Drone metal renditions.
Yeah,
of sea
but
shanties,
you have to, like, the first album's going to be named Flat Albert.
I hate it.
No joke. I have been multiple times to see a band called Fatter Than Albert.
Nice.
That's a good name.
Yeah. Cal, we're back around to you. You remain besprayed by tiny metallic shrapnel, but otherwise are in a reasonably advantageous position. You have the device in front of you, being somewhat swarmed by drones. You have the crowd trying to flee behind you. Amidst them, the hat and face masked fellow who seems to be talking anomalously calmly, presumably on some sort of phone or communication device. How do you handle the situation?
Can prep undo the... Okay, so one question I have. I might have forgotten the effects of my HPA this whole time. So after an attack against you is resolved, I can add clever to... once I spend one prep to activate, I can add clever to quick defense for the rest of the fight.
Mm-hmm.
And then after an attack against you is resolved, reduces bonus by 1 to a minimum of 0. And then I can refresh to a maximum of 1 per 1 by spending prep.
Okay.
I don't know if I've used quick defense.
I'm gonna go ahead and say your holographic projection armor is working as it was when you first entered.
Okay.
Currently, the one attack that has been specifically targeted at you as a ranged attack missed regardless.
Gotcha. Okay. Good to know.
For our listeners, that is fudging a little bit, but not tremendously.
Yeah, I also kind of forgot, so that's extremely gracious of you. Can I spend a prep to negate the disadvantage of the metallic shrapnel?
Well, it's not disadvantage in terms of rolls. It is a like penalty for being pelted. I don't really think that in the spend one prep to wheelhouse here.
That's fair. I'm still gonna sprint a pep. Sprint a pep.
I sprint a pep every morning.
Yeah, I do that too. I'm still going to spend a prep. That's such a tongue twister needlessly for me right now. And I'm going to do it out of the personal pool to kind of keep things even Steven. To boost firing again. This time I'm aiming at the opening that I have made, the gap in the dragon scales, as it were, and hoping for the best.
Okay, so that's going to be 3d6 plus 1 minus 1, so just 3d6.
Okay. I got a 5, a 4, and a 2, and then add quick to that.
And then
So the 11 plus. Someday I'll remember my stats, so I don't have to scroll. 2, so 13.
Okay, so you fire at this opening, and you see sparks from contact all around it, but nothing seems to go directly into it. However, the device is, sort of hit again. You disrupt the movement of its tendrils. You disrupt the integrity of its central sort of body. And it is going to focus its optical laser tool on you. So this is a time where we can use your holographic projection armor here to help you out, adding... if you wish, you can spend... Or no, you already spent the prep for your holographic projection armor, so you can add your clever to your quick defense, which is another +3 to 9, so 12. So let me roll for this thing. And yeah, it's gonna blast through part of the hologram, but missing you by a good 3 inches. Thanks to your misdirection there. And that bonus goes down by 1, but is still at +2.
Mm-hmm.
The terabyte boy who got knocked down has apparently recovered enough to be firing from behind you.
But he got up again?
You ain't never going to keep him down.
I disagree. I think you are probably going to keep him down at a certain point. His shots are less efficacious than yours have been, but nice, I guess, kinda, to have him back in the fight against this thing. It, for its part, blasts shrapnel at him, though it actually fires wide, seemingly as a direct result of the damage the two of you have done to it. Ing. You're at the top of the stairs. The 2 guards are arguing. The door remains locked.
Does it look like it's electronically locked, or is there a little button that I could just turn and go in?
It is locked with what is essentially like a passkey system.
Do I see a passkey on one of their belts?
Both of their belts, in fact.
I would like to make a grab for the passkey and use it.
All right. Let's get a quick roll from you, please. 2d6 plus 1.
All right. And can I use my personal prep to augment this in some way?
Certainly. Your personal prep can be used in a number of ways. In this case, I think you would be using it to boost a roll so that you would roll 3d6 plus 1.
I will do so. And that takes 1 personal prep?
It does take 1 personal prep.
Okay.
I cannot see what your level of personal prep is on your character sheet, so I trust you to keep track of it.
I've got 2. Okay. Now 1.
Very well.
Okay, so that's 5, 2, and 6. Do I add all of those together, or do I take the highest 2?
Boosting adds all of them together, so that's 13 plus your quick is 114.
Yes.
Okay. You, while they are occupied, grab the passkey that is visible on one of their belts. The other one has his sticking out of his pocket. So you grab the one on the belt. It turns out to be attached to one of those retractable sort of clips, and you just zip it over toward where the lock is. It dings green, and the door slides open. They don't even appear to notice.
I'm going in immediately.
All right, you run on in. We will add you to the rotation next time we go through it. Burn, Kato.
I think, at a minimum, we're moving toward the scene of the crime now.
I would assume we've been doing that while failing at other things. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
So you maybe just spot Ing darting into the doorway from, let's say, like half an alley away.
I turn Ing's phone mic on for me.
All right.
Sorry, Ing. Not actually sorry.
Currently, most of what you're hearing is shouting and footfalls.
Okay.
We will update that next time we come around to you in the order.
Yeah.
Kato, anything in particular while you jog?
So it doesn't sound like a bioweapon.
What would a bioweapon sound like to you?
Shouting in footballs.
What would a bioweapon sound like to me? I mean, what matters is whether what would it sound like to Burn currently. Bioweapon, I don't know. I'd expect some hissing, burbling, perhaps. Coughing. Coughing might be indicative.
Resident Evil 6 gameplay footage. Got it.
Are you suggesting, Drew, that the Jabberwocky is a bioweapon?
I wasn't, but now that's one of my firmest prejudices. Yeah.
Kalu Kalay, cough, cough.
Snicker snack.
Snicker snack. Okay. So I think we're continuing to make our way there. We don't know whether the door locked behind Ing, right? So as far as we know, we could be able to get in. Or do we know?
Right.
I believe that from where you're at, you could probably see that it is still open currently. You have no idea how long that is going to be.
And we do have Flat Albatross.
Right, and point of
You
order,
have
does
Albatross.
Flat Albatross fit in the alley?
If it's in the alley, you have no idea about the stairs to the door.
Sure, we'll cross that bridge when we flatten
it. Like the albatross.
Indeed.
Cal, you have continued to be drawn slowly closer to this thing via the hooks in your clothes. This is probably the last round that you're going to have before its tendrils have at you.
Mm-hmm. Just gonna keep blasting.
Blast away.
How like a cop?
Huh?
How like a cop?
Yeah, exactly.
Never met a problem I
gonna-
couldn't shoot.
I'm gonna continue to spend group prep.
Okay. Use it or lose it.
Yeah, so I've used 4 now. Just
How many do we
FYI.
have?
6
remaining.
currently.
6, okay.
Mm-hmm. Ooh. 7, 9, plus 2, 11, minus 1, 10.
Okay.
That was a lot of numbers.
As
I know.
it pulls you in, it sort of throws off your balance, and your shots this time go wide. And you are now going to be within range of its tendrils directly, not just for ranged attacks. It is going to go next. And its laser tool is going to basically just fire directly into the ceiling, which is great for you, but you do catch that it bores directly through the ceiling, which is also the floor of the warehouse above, and contact whatever's on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
This may be a mixed, well, not blessing, mixed bane for you. Roll tough as a save and subtract 1 for being blasted with shrapnel.
As a save?
Yes. So
that's not my defense.
Oh, never mind. That is your defense. I'm sorry. That was totally on me. Yeah,
yeah.
Your
my tough defense
10.
is 10.
Okay. Actually, separately, would you also roll a cool defense? So actually roll cool here. So roll 2d6 plus 2.
So I'm rolling cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is essentially to avoid being penalized by the tiny metal shrapnel.
Oh yeah, we didn't do that the last time either, you know.
I do, but there's nothing we can do about it now.
Mm-hmm. So that is I rolled too many dice on that.
It should be
I'm just
2d6
gonna
plus 2
Yeah.
minus 1.
I'm going to re-roll with the appropriate number of dice.
Good deal. We are learning our way around this thing.
Oh, that was a terrible roll. 3, so 5.
Okay. So somewhat to your advantage, somewhat to your disadvantage. As it draws you close, the thing turns and blasts you with a thruster like it did that first terabyte boy.
Mm-hmm.
And in addition to being just generally uncomfortable, this also blasts you back away from it. The hooks tear out of your clothing, and you sort of skid on your back near the bottom of the stairs.
Too old for this shit.
You Good news is that this actually clears the way for that 1 terabyte boy in the LCD mask to blast it without worry about hitting you. You're not sure if that would have stopped him or not, but now you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah. I doubt it would have stopped him, but at least I won't have to get shot by someone as incompetent.
He does basically shoot the ceiling, as he tries to get back to his feet while he's shooting. Next up, Ing. You find that you are fighting the crowd going down these stairs as they surge out of the basement, and you try to run down it.
Mm-hmm.
If I could, for that, I would love to get a quick roll from you, please. That's going to be 2d6 plus 1.
Okay. Oh, lost a die. Rolling a replacement.
Mm-hmm.
On the dice, we've got 5 and 3 for a total of 8. And then quick, you said?
Mm-hmm.
So that's plus 1, so 9 total.
9 total. You struggle a little bit to find your way down these stairs. But by the end of the time measured by this round, you find yourself out of the other side of the crowd looking at the remaining people in the basement, namely the terabyte boy that got injured at the very start of the fight at the end of last session, Cal, the terabyte boy in the LCD mask, who you are just now seeing for the first time, and the device, which you are also just now seeing for the first time. It is a polyhedron with some battle damage and some tendrils coming out of it, floating through unknown means above the platform where the auction took place. You also note, as you enter the area, the hole in the ceiling. Burn. Kato. You are half an alleyway back from where you just saw Ing run through the door, and you are now seeing about 15 people stream out of the open door into the alleyway and in both directions towards the exits.
Adam, do I hear the digits of pi through the phone?
Good question. I'm going to make this randomized. Just roll a d6. Let me know what you get.
5.
Okay. It's clear enough for you to recognize that they are, in fact, the digits of pi.
This says things about my character. I love it. I start dictating to Ing digits of E.
I mean, yes, that starts happening, and we'll catch up with Ing next time he has a turn about it. Kato, anything in particular here?
I'm still just trying to get to the door, so I'm in on the action. So people are starting to pour out, or just toward the door. Okay.
Well, they are now coming into the alleyway that you are in.
Understood.
Out of the 15, approximately half have come toward you. Approximately half are going away from you.
Gotcha.
Two mouths of the alley.
Okay. So they're going to have to step over the albatross, which is
if they're coming your way. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm not.
Which is funny.
It is funny, and that's kind of all it is at this point. I don't know how to help here. Yeah, no, I mean, I think I'm only going to be useful once I'm actually in the room, so I just keep making for the door. I get as close as I can do sort of in this turn of play.
Roll a quick.
I shall.
I just like doing dramatic voices. I'm sorry, everybody.
You?
Me?
Never.
That would really get in the way.
Perish the thought.
If we weren't doing a podcast.
That would really get in the way of this dramatic podcast we're doing.
So that is, sorry, I lost the dice, so I rolled again, and that is a 5. And then my quick modifier is +3, so that becomes an 8.
You have a little bit of trouble getting through the onrushing crowd because you are currently pulling a repulsor hovering pallet jack behind you, and your larger of your fiddler crab arms makes it difficult to move through crowds effectively, especially ones that do not very much care whether or not they run into you. So
I make a point not to move sideways because it's sort of undignified, given the whole fiddler crab thing.
Critical
then again,
hit.
they know something we don't.
So you make it to like the top of the stairs by the time, you're sort of like the time measured by this round runs out, which just allows you to see where the guards are yelling at each other about which one opened the door. They are conspicuously not doing anything to help.
If I have time for a very minor action, I sort of lock the mag lift in place so it's not going to sort of slide away under people. Yeah.
Certainly can be done. This basically
Cool.
amounts to turning off the magnet and it settling to the ground.
Cool.
So, Cal, you have skidded to a stop on your back and butt near the foot of the staircase, but to one side. And the drone swarm continues to swirl around the device. It continues to, now you would be comfortable calling it a shriek, the numbers of pi. And it's showing some wear. Its hovering is no longer quite as smooth and steady as it was.
In true cop form, I'm going to rise to a kneel from where I skidded along the ground and continue to blast at it. I'm once again going to spend a group prep, bringing the amount of group prep I have solely spent up to half of it.
Look, you're
I
the
truly
one
love
who's
that we
been
sort
in
of
mortal
thought through.
danger, so
Right, so
Yeah.
that's fair. I do love, though, that we sort of thought about our individual contributions, and 100% of it has just been you shooting.
Yeah, that's
Incredible.
the only way I have to damage it.
Perfect.
It's
perfect.
not
No
unreasonable.
notes.
So roll 3d6 plus your quick minus 1.
Babies. That's less than ideal. 1, 2, and 5. Plus quick, so that'll be.
I think your final value is 10 there, which means
Yeah, I think so
that
too,
your shots
honestly.
kind of ricochet off the edges of the polyhedral surfaces here. You don't hit any of the drones, which is a relief.
Yeah.
As this volley hits this device, its tendrils stop thrashing, it stops counting pi, and they all sort of like collapse to the floor. And then the one with the optical tool starts to move again, blasts another hole in the ceiling, passing through into the warehouse above, presumably. It swivels a little bit and blasts the thruster that knocked you back at a handful of the drones. You don't see what becomes of them.
Oh, no.
The terabyte boy with the LCD mask is now standing again, sort of handgun and weaver stance, fires at the device, pings a couple shots off the top of its chassis. The others go into the wall behind the device. Ing.
I'm once again very thankful that I was not close enough for the terabyte boy to shoot me. Should I do another save, cool save for the shrapnel?
Thank you for reminding me. Yes.
Okay. And then this time I'm going to roll the appropriate number of dice instead of blindly picking them all up
Right.
from my dice tray.
Mistake anyone can make.
Snake eyes.
Uh-oh.
I'm just rolling terribly
So,
on the save.
At this point, the tiny shrapnel has stopped being blasted at you. You're far enough away that it's not like continuing to add, but it just like is still in your eyes, and you're just like trying to like rub and blink it away between actions.
It reminds me of the pepper spray that I got to the face while training.
Oof. Ing, you at this point have made your way to the bottom of the stairs, and you see this basement with its sparse occupants and your drones. You just in time to see some of your drones disappear in a blaze of thruster fire. You're not sure what happened to them. You get a readout of alarmed error messages.
All right. And is the hole in the ceiling big enough that this device is trying to escape through it, or?
Not at the moment. There are essentially 3 fist-sized holes.
Okay. And what else is in the room? Could I like upend a table to use as cover or something like that? Or what else is in here? Anything?
The only available cover is directly underneath the device. Everything else is bare concrete.
All right.
Also, I am dictating the digits of E into your
Right.
ear.
Yes. Thank you for reminding me.
Thank you for the reminder.
The
Yeah,
digits
so
of E are coming in through your, sort of equivalent of like a Bluetooth earpiece.
so Ing says, "What the bloody hell are you on about?" Am I?
Repeat after me and keep dictating.
I do so, and I dictate loud and proud as I make my way across the room towards Cal.
Mm-hmm. This apparently draws the attention of the device as it rotates rapidly towards you. You don't know what this means. Burn. You are dictating the digits of E. Anything else?
Nothing that I can really think to assist with offhand other than, following Kato.
All right. Kato, you were at the top of the stairs. I'm assuming you're going in now that the things have cleared out.
In seems good, yeah.
Any particular interaction with the guards arguing at the top of the staircase?
If I can breeze right past them, that's the plan.
Breeze right past them. By the end of this round, you arrive at the bottom of the staircase and can take all this in. If you wish to say something, you may, but in terms of like combat relevant actions, we're going to wait until next round.
The only like combat prep relevant action is now that I can see this thing, is there an obvious place that I can interface with it, either with the fine-grained fiddler crab arm or with the coarse-grained arm? Is there something obvious? Would I recognize something to pry off or plug into?
There's
or is
a
it
convenient bullet hole.
I was going to say the triangular plates have been damaged, and if you used your larger arm, you might try to be able to grab one, but its sort of tendrils, its limbs are going to be able to get to you at that point. In terms of the sort of more delicate maneuvering, you could reach inside and see what happens.
Okay. I spend the rest of my turn vividly picturing myself doing this and not liking it.
Love that. Love that for you. Cal.
I hear Ing, and hopefully, like, I imagine I can talk without spitting in action.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Within reason.
I hear
you couldn't recite the entirety of Beowulf without taking an action, but within reason.
I hear Ing rattling off random numbers that I'm not familiar with. And the voice is unmistakable. I also have hopefully clocked by this point in time how attention from the device looks. So I kind of, without taking my eyes off the target, as I raise my gun for another shot, shout, "What the hell are you doing, kid?" And then continue blasting. And once again, I'm going to boost it as best I can. I'm hopefully gonna off this thing.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I want to make friends with it.
I mean, you can have that opportunity once it's subdued with bullets.
So like a cop.
I have a 6, a 5, and a 3.
Is 14.
Yep. And then plus quick, so 16 minus 1, 15.
All right. 2 of your burst of fire go through one of the gaps in this polyhedral exterior, and the thing starts emitting an audible sort of like stuttering whine as it attempts to stay up through whatever means it hovers. And a couple of its tendrils seem to lose functionality entirely. It's not quite decommissioned yet. It is going to...
Should I do my cool save roll?
You should.
Wait, did we... So it's still in my eyes. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay. Ooh! 5 and a 4. And am I adding cool to it? I can't remember now.
11. Yeah. You don't manage to clear it entirely, unfortunately. On top of that, this firing of its optical tool does just straight up like hit you center mass, seemingly by chance. It doesn't seem like it's aiming very much. So this is going to be our first instance of harm.
Okay. I have my let me scroll down to my So, okay. Padded clothing layers add +1 tough defense.
So you're going to mark your first 2 minor injuries here, as it exceeded your applicable defense by at least 6. So these are not going to affect your rolls, but they are, sort of like going to mean that any further harm you take is going to kind of be added on to the end there, regardless of how severe it is, which will then add penalties. And I'm going to say that what you have is essentially some burning, sort of near your collarbone, from where the heat managed to kind of get through your layers. And then essentially some abrasions from where, when this is all over, you have to like sort of peel the burned ends of your synthetic fabrics kind of off of your outer layer of skin.
Debride it.
It's painful, but not serious.
Mm-hmm.
Not serious.
I've had worse.
Yeah. So that was its optical tool. It is also going to blast some shrapnel in Ing's direction. Ing, would you roll your quick for me, please? 2d6 + 1.
Yes. That is 5 total.
All right. You are also blasted with tiny metallic shrapnel and will take -1 on further rolls until further notice. The Terabyte boy goes to fire, discovers that his gun is dry, and starts to reload it. And next after that is Ing. You are reciting the digits of E that you're being fed. Your drones that weren't subject to the thruster blast are still sort of swarming around this thing. You're clear of the stairs in the basement.
There's nothing in my environment. I am unarmed. How quick would it be to check in to see whether any of my drones are completely disabled?
I mean, you could take stock of your drones as your action this time. If you do so, what you will find is that 3 of your airborne drones have been knocked offline. How serious the damage might be beyond that, you'd have to inspect them to understand. Everything else, the other 7, seem to be fully functional.
Okay. Can I also start moving away from Cal?
Yeah, you can start to sort of like rotate around, yeah.
Type position. So
those can be simultaneous. Yeah, that's absolutely fine.
Okay, great.
Burn.
I follow Cato and I keep reciting E.
All right. Then by this point, you are going to be in the basement as well. Cato, you have cleared the bottom of the stairs. You have taken in the scene before you. How do you respond?
I approach this thing, big arm first. So I have something of a military grade Aegis in front of me, but I'm seeing if I can get close. I cut a wide berth so that I don't absorb crossfire from a cop.
Sure.
As one ought to avoid, as any city dweller knows. But yeah, I see if I can get close to this thing and do some good.
Okay. If and when you get close to it, what do you plan to attempt to do?
I want to pry a plate off of it and see if I can goof up its insides.
All right. So what I'm going to call this is you're going to be essentially rolling a melee attack here. Which,
sure.
In this case, I'm going to call it a grab. So
okay.
Let's go with rolling a tough for me, please.
Gotcha. Not the greatest of news, but hey.
2d6 + 1.
That's 4 + 1 is 5.
Okay. You sort of like, kind of reach out to the edge of one of the plates and scrabble against it a little bit. You draw some of the thing's attention, but other than that, you're not sure how much good you've done here. You are closed with it currently, although you have made sure to be off to one side of it so that, you minimize your chances of crossfire.
Crossfire.
I don't want to get caught up in the... yeah, if it comes down to it, I'll try to put it between myself and the cop. But
right.
Okay, for now, I'm in the danger zone.
That's cue the song. So, Cal, we are back around to you.
Yeah. I'm not going to continue blasting, because I'm not going to shoot a kid.
How unlike a cop.
I'm going to shout at Kato first.
Mm-hmm.
Get away from the damn thing. Get out of my line of fire, kid. And then at a delay appropriate of someone hearing numbers spoken out loud and then processing them and then repeating them, I'm going to start shrieking the digits of E at the device while moving towards it.
All right.
Gun still raised, but not firing until I can get an angle where or until Kato removes himself from the line.
Sure. I'm going to also rule that since you're sort of moving with your weapon ready but not firing, you take the opportunity to reload.
Yeah, I get one free reload with this gun.
Yeah, well, and I basically this is a way of preserving your free reload for later.
Oh, awesome! Okay,
you're not
Sweet.
shooting this time. So it's going to use its optical weapon.
I'm doing my best to distract it and get the attention off of Kato at this point.
On that note, Kato, if you would make another tough roll for me, please.
Sure. Ooh, that's 11 plus 1 is 12.
You notice the optical element warming up, and you manage to wrench the thing just kind of like towards the ceiling where it blasts another hole, rather than aiming at anybody in the room. Though after that, you need to make a quick save, if you will, 2d6 plus your quick.
Can do. That is 7 plus 3 is 10.
Okay. Your larger arm finds itself covered in goop that rapidly hardens. You are down an arm until you can free it. The freshly reloaded Terabyte Boy with the LCD mask does not have any particular compunctions about firing while Kato is in, the downrange area.
Seeing them raise their weapons and knowing it's not going to make a difference, I yell at them to stand down nevertheless.
They fire off a couple shots, and they are wide by a mile, hitting nothing but concrete. Ing.
So, as a player,
Mm-hmm.
I'm interpreting this thing's actions as being confused, scared, and hurt, and that if there was some way to reverse that, then maybe there's a different way to approach this situation. Do I, as a character, have any different interpretation of the situation based on my specialized knowledge?
This thing appears to be acting very... How do I put this? It appears to be pushing all the buttons at once. What's motivating that? It has no particular output other than its movements and the digits of pi that it continues to shriek.
Do I, as Ing, have any insight in that? Is that a machine thing?
Let's
that
let
I would know about.
You roll your robotics to find out what you are thinking here.
Okay, so 2d6 plus 5, I think. Plus robotics.
Believe so.
6 plus 5, 11.
Unfortunately, the most insight you have is that this thing is doing basically what one of your drones would do if somebody sat on the controls.
Okay.
There is very little ability to divine any sense of motivation or reason from what it is doing.
All right. Since Cal has taken up the E chant, I will shout to the group, let's get out of here, out of the line of fire.
All right.
Close the doors behind it. But I'm not going to actually leave until I see how people are responding.
Sure.
Then I go back to reciting E.
Sure. Kato, you're in the room now. Anything in particular? Well, and your arm is glooped.
My arm is glooped. That doesn't stop me from moving. It just stops me from using it.
Yeah,
for anything
you
especially
are
useful.
able to move, but your arm is going to be
Okay.
essentially stuck at this angle with no particular,
Okay.
utility.
I have
was terrified you were-
T-pose. I have T-pose out of the line of
All
fire.
right.
You thought I was stuck to it?
No.
Yeah, I did too for
Yeah.
a second. Yeah.
I was Concernicus.
Yeah.
Is that Concernicus the Elder or Concernicus the Lesser?
Concernicus the
Rex.
Greater. Concernicus Rex.
So you move out of the line of fire. Anything else in particular other than your motility?
I also start chanting E.
All right.
Couldn't hurt. Or unless it does.
Burn, anything in particular here?
Seeing Kato with glooped arm, is there anything I can do about that?
I mean, you could start, I guess, to investigate the nature of the gloop.
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead then and give me a clever roll.
All right. So that is 11.
Okay. This substance is some kind of dual compound reaction.
Oh god, it's fucking epoxy.
It's exothermic, and you believe that had it not been mixed so immediately, it could have been corrosive. So Kato seems to have gotten off lightly here, but you're probably not getting it off without a saw.
I relay that information. No, I relay that in Morse code on my chest. As I continue reciting E.
All right.
At this point, I am probably scrolling it across like my hand or something because we've run out of digits that I actually know.
I look worried for the first time, realizing that only Gorister knows how to use the proper saw. But we'll get there when we get there.
Yeah. Cal, it's back to you. Your line of fire is clear now.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna keep blasting.
Cops gonna do.
Yeah, go for it.
I ignore. I don't ignore Ing's request for everyone to leave. I just make it. I reiterate it, but make it clear that I'm excluded from this equation. I'm gonna spend a group prep as well.
All right.
Yeah.
3d6 plus quick minus 1.
Come on. Okay, so 5, 6, 1.
All right.
So 11. So I'm just gonna pretend like it's just the 5 and the 6 and remove the 1
Okay.
because that's like the penalty. Add quick to that. So 11 plus 2, 13.
All right. 2 of your rounds make it inside of this thing's chassis, and you hear a very loud, like, of a short happening, and all of its tendrils freeze, and then sort of like sway a little bit around the bottom of it, like the swishing of a skirt, and then it slowly starts to descend to the floor, no longer reciting pi. Settles fairly gently to the ground and appears dormant. After about that much silence, one of the guards at the top of the stairs yells down the stairs, "Everything okay down there?"
Oh, fuck off.
At the same time as that, I yell, "It's under control."
The LCD masked terabyte boy, the only one who stayed in the basement, out of all this, turns to Cal and says, "Huh, glad you were here. Don't know how you got that firearm past my boys. Is it all those drones?"
No, it's not the drones. Should be more thorough with your frisking.
Shrugs one shoulder. "All right, well, I mean, I guess take your winnings. Pleasure doing business with you."
It has damage now.
No,
I want a discount.
not my problem. We've already received the payment.
Well, if you throw in your firearm, we'll call it even.
He looks at the pistol in his hand, looks at you, looks at the pistol in his hand, and then I'm going to make a roll for him. Attempts to break the pistol he's holding in half, and when he fails, just sighs and tosses it to the ground and says, "Yeah, have a field day," and starts walking up the stairs.
Probably should pivot from that Weaver stance, by the way. It's not serving you.
Pauses for a second like he's going to say something, then resumes walking up the stairs with a middle finger up over one shoulder. You hear quiet conversation as he emerges from the basement with the guards at the top of the stairs.
As they're having their disagreeable conversation, I'd like to spend a personal prep to have attached in the prep of the cash transfer a system compromising thing.
Let me make a roll real quick.
All right.
You've attached the system compromising thing. You are unsure exactly which system or how effectively it may have attached itself. It made the transit with the cash. It is not yet sending anything back to you.
Oh, I just want to flip that switch to see what network it activates, and then if I can, hack the dude's LCD face and, make a nuisance of myself.
So when you hit the switch, you find that it is inhabiting a disappointingly barren environment that consists pretty much only of a burner crypto wallet with the payment that you transferred in giant quotation marks.
All right. Is there any other way then that I can compromise this face?
It doesn't seem network enabled.
Ugh.
Yeah. Ing?
I'd like to summon the autonomous collective back to myself and go and investigate which of my precious buddies have gone down.
Sure. I do not have the list memorized.
Peggy, Tran, Diego, Mama, Daddy, Buddy, Toots, Bruv, Wiggles, and Banjo.
Sure.
You should assign them numbers.
I was going to say 3 of the ones that can fly or hover have been disabled but not destroyed. They are damaged, but they can be repaired.
Okay.
Oh, good.
Otherwise, it is now just you all in this basement. Let me make a quick roll here. Kato, you happen to glance up and come to the troubling conclusion that the shots through the ceiling have set something in the warehouse above on fire.
I convey this information while tapping my ingooed arm despondently. We should probably make an exit.
Time to be not here.
We need to get this tech out of here.
Is there an obvious place that it would have been, removed, for the winter? Like wheeled back out the way it came in? Or like how do we get it out of here?
You'd have to carry it up the stairs and put it on your hover pallet jack.
If only I had a really big arm that wasn't encased in goo.
If only.
I'm assuming I know from Burn that this is a big saw job, not something I can do myself right here and now. Well, I agree that we need to get this thing out of here. Somehow. Could I get the pallet down the stairs now that I've seen the stairs?
It's a tight fit, but since it's on repulsor hover, yeah, it could come downstairs.
Okay, I start doing that, and that won't require brute strength after all, repulsor hover. Yeah. So I make my way, T-posing inelegantly, and to my great horror, having to walk sideways in the stairwell.
Yeah, so you get the pallet jack down, and presumably everybody else helps you get the thing onto the pallet jack. Fortunately, the cloth that it was covered with prior to the auction is still on the ground on the little stage, so you can kind of just throw that on there. And you come up the way that you came in. The Terabyte Boys have abandoned the location. There is smoke starting to pour out of the warehouse. Very minimal bystanders, though you can start to hear sirens in the distance.
Good thing we look really inconspicuous. I think we just get out away from the scene as quick as we can. Or
Yep.
Yeah, and I grab the extra firearm before departing.
Excellent. Yeah. You grab the Terabyte Boys sidearm, and you guys vamoose. Are you heading straight back to the frontispiece?
No.
Well, that raises the question of where you are going.
This is something that we'd know in character that I think hasn't come up yet as players. Do we have a secondary like safe house location, or someone we trust? Yeah, I was going to say.
Prep.
I spoke to criminal buddies who, while they were unhelpful earlier, I think I'll spend a personal prep to say that one of them owes me a favor in flashback, and that there's somewhere we could lay low at least briefly until the sirens stop.
All right.
Bonus points if wherever they are, they own a saw.
So, as it happens, Cato, before you finished up your chat with Bronwy on the leading edge of this op about when and where this thing might be taking place, she did sort of indicate that she has some discrete storage space that would be unconnected with you that you could use, provided that you were willing to, return the favor in kind.
Yeah.
Her facility is also about as close as anything that you could hope for here.
That sounds as close to ideal as I can possibly hope for. So let's do that.
You head over to Bronwy's place. So it's a couple of blocks that are fairly nervous, but as far as you can tell, nobody is tailing you, nobody is surveilling you. It's hard to be totally sure, but Burn, you're sort of trying to monitor to see, any observers. You don't catch anything. Yes.
Can I still change what my holographic projection armor is doing before I emerge?
Sure.
I am going to adopt the appearance of having a LED face mask and look like the Terabyte Boy, except the LED face mask is going to be projecting something of an extremely phallic nature spelled out in numbers and letters. ASCII art, as it were.
It takes you a moment to arrange this, but it is possible, and you trail your compatriots out of the basement, displaying this heroic holographic projected array, and you all arrive at Bronwy's place of business. It's around the back.
At no point have I stopped smirking at the ASCII-ness.
All of these characters would have been nightmares in like the me era of the Wii and the Wii U.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
So it's fairly late. You go around the back of the building that Bronwy is headquartered in and discover that the sort of shutter that lowers over her place of business has about a foot, of like gap toward the bottom, and there's a little bit of light spilling out from it. Cato, you approach and you give sort of a perfunctory knock, and I identify yourself. The shutter sort of rolls up, allowing you entry, and the rest of you meet Bronwy for the first time. She is fairly short, just a little over 5 foot, sort of a confidently heavy-set young woman of somewhere in her 20s, maybe. She has a sort of curly medium brown hair that has been very perfunctorily pulled into just sort of a gather behind her head, and is wearing a sort of like nondescript tank top and sort of work cargo pants with a very descript sort of denim smock over it, which has been adorned in buttons, pins, patches, paint, just a profusion of decorations of a variety of sorts. Some of it is concert merch. Some of it seems custom made. When she turns around, on the back of it, there's just like a big face sort of like staring at you smugly, painted in white paint. And, as she's letting you in, just says, all right, everybody in quickly. Come on. Don't want anybody to gawk at you while you bring the contraband in. The space that she leads you into is large enough for 5 people plus a pallet jack, with about 6 square inches to spare around the various counters and cabinets.
I am already reaching out, as it were, to networks.
As you do, a series of auditory and sort of like flashing light sirens go off.
Respectable.
Bronwyn kind of...
My apologies for the intrusion.
Bronwyn kind of smirks at you and says, well, I respect the attempt, but please don't try again.
I assume that this was of the a security of the class of no roll is necessary.
I mean, you could make a roll if you wish to attempt to get past the security, but it also would not really be like... it would not be possible while you are standing here to do it in a way that she would not be aware of eventually.
Oh, no. This was for the first round attempt.
Yeah, it is, sort of a moot point until you are away from this place.
Yeah. Functionally, I have poked the system and gone, oh, yeah, someone actually believes in security. Good. I give a, appreciative nod to Kato, who may or may not understand what I mean by it.
Bronwyn has...
I make a conciliatory gesture between the two of you, and all of the rest of my attention is focused on not knocking anything over with my rigid, enormous arm.
It is harder than you would think. Bronwyn sits on what appears to be and I say appears to be, an antique wooden rocking chair. It is not terribly feasible that this could have made the trip up from Earth, so it is more likely that it has been antiqued, visually, but it's not impossible that someone broke it down into their luggage and reassembled it on the other side. Just unlikely. And having seated herself, she sort of, looks around at everybody and says, well, seems that there was some kind of success here. Looks curiously at the cloth-covered form on the pallet jack, and then says, so, how long shall we or our cargo be staying? For what it's worth, as you look around, the surfaces are covered in finished, incomplete, under repair, and in design cybernetics. And from the ceiling hangs a lot of bundles of dried herbs.
I don't think we'll be staying too long. We just need to wait for the heat to die down a bit.
She sort of chuckles and says, well, I probably won't be until the fire department arrives. I hear the warehouse caught fire. You're doing?
No. But probably for the better.
Well, I suppose I'm curious, but I won't press. So if there's anything you feel like sharing, I would appreciate it. But she peers at the cloth-covered figure again and says, I guess in the meantime, looking at Kato, you seem to have run into some trouble there.
Yeah, about that. I would owe you 2 if you happen to have some way to extricate me from this.
She grins and reaches back onto the counter behind her, rummages around, and pulls out what is basically like a circular saw with like sort of a adjustable arm to sort of extend or pull back the range of the saw from the motor. She goes, well, if you can hold still, I'm sure I can get you out.
I'll owe you 2.5 if you don't scuff the paint.
She snorts and she says, "Tell you what, if I scuff the paint, I'll repair it." And then revs the saw.
I'm just mentally imagining this as an extremely aggressive Dremel.
Pretty much. Like, you're not too far off. So, conversation is impossible for about the next 90 seconds as she sort of puts some notches in the foam and then sort of does some crosscuts, puts the saw down, and then grabs a rubber mallet and starts bashing the pieces that she has cut apart off of the arm. You're going to have to do some cleanup, probably with some rubbing alcohol, to get the sort of residue off, but you at least have mobility in the arm again. And she picks up a chunk of the foam and goes, "I don't think this was something the Terabyte Boys had."
If it hadn't been hastily mixed, it would have been corrosive on top.
She drops it and says, "Well, thank you for the warning." Is it
Do you happen to have any first aid kits back there?
Well, I have some supplies. And then her eyes sort of light on the burn near your collarbone. She goes, "Oh, yeah, let me get some gauze and a little bit of, oh yeah, I should have some antimicrobial ointment here." So she rummages around and gets some medical tape, some gauze, some antimicrobial ointment. Says, it's sort of surface anesthetic as well, so it should help with the itching some. She sort of pauses as she finishes up and says, "I know it's prying, but I'm desperately curious what happened. It looks like you got hit by a laser."
I did.
She blinks twice and goes, "I don't suppose you care to elaborate," and then pauses and squints and goes, "Officer?"
I will give a sort of questioning look to Kato, sort of communication by eyebrows, inquiring as to how communication by eyebrows, but also by surreptitious Morse code. The first question in Morse code is, does she know Morse code?
Kato, you have no idea if she knows Morse code or not.
I tap out, no idea.
Has she responded in any fashion?
Not visibly, no.
Okay.
Could also be pretending to ignore so that she can...
Mm-hmm.
Very clearly, yes.
I say in one of those joking, unless you're taking me seriously tones, "You got me. Montgomery Law Liker, officer. Badge number withheld for your safety."
Bromley steps back and rolls her eyes. All right. Look, as long as nobody, does anything untoward, we're fine.
Look, we really do appreciate the help. We're just trying not to get this any more complicated and, frankly, not to bring any more heat down on you than necessary.
She waves a hand and sort of reaches into a mini fridge that for all the world looked like just a pile of junk a minute ago, and pulls out what you think is like a wine cooler and just twists off the top and takes a sip and sits back in her rocking chair and she goes, "All right, well, she sort of snorts a laugh. Make yourselves comfortable, I guess. Leave when you want. I don't suppose anybody wants to tell me what's under the cloth."
I will tap out in Morse code a laser.
She does not give any indication of having caught that.
So I think I have done my good faith deflection here, but knowing very well that Bronwyn will know what I'm doing, I tap out a message to the group saying, "I've never had any reason not to trust her. What do we think?"
I haven't established whether or not I know Morse code.
This wouldn't be Morse code. This would be the group chat, just so that everybody can see it, but she can't.
Okay.
That would involve me.
I mean, it's still relevant whether or not you know Morse code.
That is actually relevant
by the distant retro future of 2020. It may be a somewhat deliberately antiquated thing.
I don't see that being something covered in Police Academy. No,
almost certainly not.
Not something that I know either. Well, rather than pause for 15 seconds where we all check our phones, I will just respond in the moment to Bronwyn saying, "Listen, Bronwyn, it might be in your best interest to keep distance from this kind of a thing. Not any particular lack of trust, but if nothing else, to not complicate your life. And officer, how are you so calm about this? You almost died.
As you are saying this, I am also saying, I'm saying this now, though, to avoid the crosstalk. There's a laser under the cloth,
Hmm.
among other things.
I blink at Ing, though obviously the holographic LED mask still portraying an ASCII phallus does not reveal the blinking.
That's for the best.
Probably.
Yeah. I don't consider this almost dying just a scratch. I've had much worse. And I tap on another augmented body part of mine. Last time I tapped on my head. This time I arbitrarily tap on my left shoulder.
You could have died.
That's kind of the nature of the thing.
Bronwyn chimes in and says, well, I don't install augments, but for paying customers, I make custom jobs that you can take to somebody else to install. Just saying, if you need them. You know, serious injuries and whatnot. Or if you want to work on your existing augments.
I'm assuming in character I would know how good she is at this.
Very.
Yeah.
The reason she doesn't install augs is a lack of medical expertise, but she is actually well known for making and modifying augs that you can then take to somebody who has the medical expertise and get them installed.
Could I have heard of her then, since I, futz around with augments that other people bring in for jailbreaking?
You certainly could have heard of her, but this would be your first time meeting her.
Oh, you're Bronwyn.
Point of order, or I guess point of backstory, do I have any parts that she has made or altered?
Probably not to your knowledge.
Fair enough. I do take inventory as she says it, though. Like how recently I installed various bits.
Mm-hmm.
I think that my hand might have been a derivative of one of your designs.
She sort of shrugs one shoulder modestly and says, well, it's not impossible. I'm a little bit exclusive with my personal work, but, some of the things that I work on filter out. I do fairly good work for what I do, so.
I've heard.
I'll keep that in mind.
Flattering. She sort of rocks back in her chair and says, well, you can certainly hang out as long as you need for the heat to die down. I understand you being not forthcoming with your, and she gestures at the sheet-covered thing on the pallet jack.
Did she not react to the a laser?
No, not at all.
Okay.
And she says, I'll keep you company here until you're ready to go. Would you mind if I ordered some dinner, though?
No particular objection on my end.
Seems more than fine.
Yeah, well, I would step out so that nobody saw that you were here. She pulls out her phone and starts tapping away. She says, there's this new place nearby, Izakaya Po'boy. I love their sandwiches.
Despite myself, my eyes light up. They're good, huh?
I mean, everything I've tried I've liked. But it's new, so I've only had 2 or 3 things.
My LED mask pivots towards Kato.
I'll warn you off of the sake.
Oh, I haven't asked the courier to grab any drinks. I have plenty here. She taps on her disguised mini fridge. Takes another swig of her wine cooler.
Bronwyn, obviously I'm biased, but I feel like if you're ordering takeout, you're missing the ambiance, and that's easily half the appeal.
Well, I actually intend to swing by sometime, but I'm needed here quite a lot. Like, for instance, when I have 4 relative strangers babysitting some form of illegal technology in my workspace.
Yeah, I'm awfully glad you were here to open up the nursery in this particular instance.
Well, I'm sure you'll make me happy to have done so.
Indeed.
I'll remember your help if you ever show up in my feed.
She sort of snorts and she says, God, I hope I don't, but thank you.
I take this opportunity to text Ramirez an update.
I produce a deck of cards.
Handling Cal's thing first. Anything in particular, or just sort of like a generic, like, job's done kind of thing?
I say package secure. I mentioned that they activated the the tech, and I had to manually shut it down. And then I provide a brief description of the appearance.
Okay.
And the behavior of reciting pi.
And Burn, you were saying?
I produce a deck of cards.
I guess if any of our player characters react to this in any particular way.
I don't.
Mm-hmm.
Kato knows that I cheat extravagantly, and that's part of the fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I sort of roll my eyes, but square up as best I can in the limited space to play something and lose.
No, you're supposed to cheat back.
Well, I do, but you're better at it.
Any particular reaction to the appearance of a deck of cards?
Yeah, I say, deal me in. Looking a bit distracted, disinterested.
Mm-hmm. Bronwyn steps up excitedly and says, "Oh, have you played Caravan?"
Yeah.
Not that I know of.
Oh, it's so easy.
Can usually pick it up in a couple of rounds.
And begins to describe a truly horrifically specific card game.
I say that, I offer a few points of house rule difference.
Mm.
I am opting that this is somewhere between it's complicated and outright bullshit.
Bronwyn rolls with the punches, pretending that she is familiar with the rules that you are describing.
Yeah, I'll play Calvin card. Let's do it.
Yeah, cards are played. It is a race between Burn and Bronwyn for who cheats most effectively. Kato, you make a valiant show of it. Ing, you are absolutely thrashed.
Yes.
As is always the case when I watch Burn cheat, my goal is not to win, it's to pick up a new trick or two.
Mm-hmm. After a moderate interval, there is a ping from Bronwyn's phone, and she sort of ducks outside and comes back in with a recycled cardboard container containing a sandwich with a sauce covered series of slices of Wagyu beef, bean sprouts, and shredded cabbage with some kind of condiment that is mixed with mayonnaise in some variety. And she makes a series of provocative, yummy sounds as she devours it in the space of about 45 seconds.
I
avert my eyes from this at a few key moments.
At about that point, she looks at her phone and says, "Well, the fire has been put out. The firefighters have gone home. The campus police have registered an evasive answer with the sort of local blotter. You may be good to go for now, if you're careful at least. Not that I mind your company, but it is approaching my bedtime. Need my beauty rest." She sort of pats her hair.
Wouldn't want to interrupt something so important as that. Be in touch when I can help you in any of the usual ways, or anything else you might think of, or when you need help from the officer, who, I remind you, is also me.
I chuckle outwardly at that.
She says, "Trust me, I'll be in touch. I'm sure I can think of some things for you to do. In the meantime, keep your nose clean." And she winks very exaggeratedly.
I wink somehow more exaggeratedly. My face being asymmetrical, it's quite a striking thing.
Yeah.
Half of the ASCII phallus deflates into a wink.
This is one of those, like, how would a dog wear pants like this or this? Like, how would a phallus wink? There's like
it's towards the 3 end and probably would be moderately uncomfortable
Sure.
for any with the related parts and present.
For our listeners, I am staring through the desktop in front of me. Bronwyn opens the shutter and sort of graciously ushers you out. She says, "Don't be a stranger. You ever need augments, consultation on augments, advice on augments, or," she gestures at her mini fridge, "reasonably tasty wine cooler, you know where to find me."
I can at least guarantee you'll be off the feeds for the next 2 weeks.
I adore her, Adam.
I give her
a slight
the
bow toward Officer Armitage and says, "You're very gracious, thank you."
I give her the same. She knows I'm trying somewhat witchy hand flare that I did the last time we met. I'm, acknowledging that it's dorky, but yeah.
She sort of snorts a laugh and just flips you off with a wink and then closes the shutter.
Have I heard anything back from Ramirez?
Not yet, which is a little bit worrying.
Mm-hmm.
As far as we can tell, the way is clear toward the frontispiece. There's not.
The way is clear toward the frontispiece. Obviously, you'll still be picked up by, sort of private surveillance along the way, but you're not too far away. And you can
any that I can just reach out and thwart. I would like to try to do so.
Roll a hacking, and we'll just sort of come up with a proportion.
Yeah, so 9 becomes 15, and I'll also roll ghosting because ghosting.
As you're already doing it, I say, "Burn, cloud of smoke."
I wave as if it, basically the physical affect of old man. Actually, I would like to spend a personal prep since I might as fucking well.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
To roll, is that boosting to add a 3rd die to the thing and counted as part of the total?
It is, yeah.
So that's 4, so that becomes a 19 on the hacking.
You are pretty sure you managed to sort of blot, glitch, spoof, or otherwise disrupt
Cool, and I
everything.
will do the same on ghosting to make sure that I'm not detected. 18.
All right.
Of note, if you're low on personal prep, there are still 3 group prep remaining.
You make your way back to the frontispiece, and as far as you can tell, you are unobserved in meat space, and Burn, you are pretty sure that you managed to blot out all possible watching eyes in various ways as you make your way back, and you pull this lump into sort of the backspace of the frontispiece, and everybody sort of looks at each other, and whether or not you audibly do it, a sort of sigh goes through the assembly here. Is there anything in particular that we wish to say or do before we disperse at what is probably like 1:30 a.m. at this point?
I do physically slump down against one of the cases for my part, and I say, "So now that it's just us, do we want to talk about the degree to which any or all of us nearly died there?
Or the degree to which this was a fucking setup in some fashion?"
It was just another day on the job, honestly. But you handle yourselves very well for your first mission, and I drop the holographic projection armor at this point.
Good to see you again.
I think that we do need to talk about it. I don't think that I'm ready to.
I'm sorry to drag you into this. I don't apologize often, so that felt weird.
Pretty sure I've never heard it, for whatever that's worth.
I usually make it a point of character. However, that was there. I can't help but shake the gut feeling that something bigger is afoot.
It was a fucking setup.
My contact has not gotten back in touch with me.
In fact, as you finish that sentence, you get a notification of a message received from Ramirez, and it just says, IMX rep talking with Chief.
I am ex-rep talking with Chief. Okay.
IMX being the robotics company that supplies the university with various parts and whose warehouse burned down or caught fire. It didn't actually burn all the way down this evening as a result of the events in the basement.
Scratch that. Just heard back. The IMX rep is speaking with, and forgive me if this is the wrong character name, but this would be Lou Tupper.
This would be Lou Tupper. Yeah.
Yeah. The IMX rep is talking with Tupper right now. This does not bode well.
It does not. I am on the side, sending a message to Gorister, who knows how to restrain a large piece of hardware that may switch on at any moment in a way that probably the rest of us do not, saying there's some overtime available.
You don't get an immediate response. You assume that Gorister is asleep.
Typical. So...
I would like to spend a group prep to activate something in his phone to turn on an alarm that is not otherwise traced back to us.
This is the best use of group prep.
Yeah, 45 seconds later, you get a message back from Gorister Kato that says, "What the hopping fuck?"
I do in character giggle.
Shrug emoticon, a couple of dollar signs.
You get it back. Fuck it, I'll be there. So Gorister is presumably on his way.
So, assuming... Well, you said was a setup. Past tense. I'm not sure about that part. So, we'll do our best to make sure this thing...
Several things were weird. The chucklefucks who set the thing up obviously did not source it and turned it on rather than let it go properly, which to me reads like it was an attempt to both suss out who might try to purchase this sort of shit illegally and eliminate competition while testing the fucking thing.
This tech can't get into the hands of PSS. Or
Agreed.
anyone else for that matter.
I give an emphatically teenage duh gesture.
Immediate
ignore
concerns. Immediate concerns. Is this thing a time bomb? That's why we're calling in Gorister. That way, if it is, we can at least contain it. Next most immediate concern, who set us up? And what is their next move going to be?
I think it was a setup generally. We had 3 different avenues of learning about this thing.
You think it was much too easy to find information about something that was ostensibly this secret?
Yeah.
And there were 2 persons of interest bidding against me in the auction. And I relay the information about what I observed about these individuals.
Did they make it out?
I ensure that they did.
Okay. That's a start.
Do you have the ability or tendency to place trackers on people, officer?
Not yet. If you have any idea of how to set that up, I'm sure that could be arranged.
I mean, speaking of tracking devices, should we make sure that this thing isn't transmitting? I mean, this whole thing, seems a bit elaborate to just track us back to your completely legitimate store. But
I mean, it's full of a fair few bullets at this point.
If there is any prep left,
there is.
I would like to assert that there is a Faraday cage of sufficient size to contain this thing in.
I'm going to say that you can use what's around in the back of the frontage piece to construct one.
Cool.
And we'll reduce our prep for that.
Yeah. I double check all the locks and then throw off the tarp and begin with the makeshift Faradaying.
Right.
I pick absent-mindedly at some shrapnel sticking out of my chest.
I attempt to ignore the shrapnel pecking, but I cannot help the way my face creases in concern.
So the deactivated device is put inside a makeshift Faraday cage, and we sort of continue to be concerned and interactive. But would I be correct in assuming that once there is no more security to be sort of seen to, everybody eventually heads off to where their beds are because it's like 2 a.m.?
Yep.
It takes some convincing.
I ping my contact that I learned about this whole thing from.
Can be,
yes. Mostly to inquire what the fuck.
Is what the fuck the specific wording that you use when you ping KNB?
No, there is profanity in 6 languages.
Is there anything other than profanity in 6 languages?
Yes, the word setup.
Okay. KNB responds immediately with, "Didn't look like it on my end, not my fault. What did you find?" And then an emoticon that suggests a monocled face looking at you intently.
I close down all channels of communication.
All right. Eventually, everybody does go to where they eventually sleep.
With much persuasion on my end, I act disinterested the whole time, but also somehow manage to stress interest into the security of those involved and those watching this technology.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming somewhere in here Gorister shows up, and I assure you that he's a schmuck, but he knows what he's doing. In fact, those are probably my exact words. He's a schmuck, but he's never screwed up anything where it counts as far as hardware goes.
And effectively what he does is shackle each of the limbs and the top and bottom of the central piece in EMP emitting devices, so that whatever this thing is, it won't really be able to activate, while it's got these things on it. So
I watched the proceedings sternly, my hands folded behind my back in an at ease position.
Gorister is visibly nervous in your presence, but says nothing. Literally doesn't say anything the entire time.
I will tap in Morse code, which by this point he may have started to pick up. Has the right to remain silent, etc., etc.
He gives no indication that he understands, but maybe he's picked up some of it.
Yeah, I maybe one of the things that finally convinces the officer to head home is I say, look, we've done all we can for now, and you're no good to anyone if you're shredded. I say this in the way of a person in the room who is older than a lot of other people in the room, but also younger than one specific person in the room.
Just call me if anything goes sideways.
Of course.
I'll waive your services for the next month.
You're full of surprises.
You have no idea, kid. Just stay safe.
You too.
Mechanically speaking, what you've just done, Robin, is prevented Kato from having to make a burden roll and a penalty for having embezzled from the frontispiece. You don't know this, Kato doesn't know this, but we as players and GMs know this.
Awesome.
So eventually
Beautiful.
everybody goes home. Gorister, as soon as he's done, heads home without a word. Burn, Kato, you're already home. Presumably you settle in. Ing, Cal, you're going to the same home. anything in particular transpires in either of these places once you are in pairs?
I make sure Ing's okay. Casually, like I'm not invested.
Yeah, no, I'm all right. And before going to bed, I remove the remainder of the shrapnel with some pliers. I lay Diego, Toots, and Wiggles on the workshop bench near my desk. And just kind of give them an absent-minded pat and, go to bed. Where bed in this case means shutting down for a while.
Burn? Kato, anything?
I go and visit Burn in their lair. For a moment, I mentally think of this as tucking him in. Then I shake off the thought, and I say, "Well, that was interesting."
I look up from the actual computer that I am working at, trying to trace sort of networks of how the information might have gotten to our sources of it. And yeah, interesting's one word. This is going to be a whole bunch of bad.
Yeah.
I don't know, obviously, the direction it's going to go in, but, this is going to bring way too much attention to way too many things. And it's a problem in itself.
Well, I guess I look at it this way. Today, we confronted something that could have killed us, and it didn't. And we found ourselves in a situation that could have put us in the absolute spotlight, and it didn't. So tomorrow, we do the same.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we trace back how the fuck this started.
Definitely that. Have a good night, and do try to get some sleep.
Thank you, you too. Sleep well. When you do. If you do.
I think I will. Eventually. Cool. I do not go to my bed. I slump down next to the machine, the object, the device, and just look at it for a while. Maybe this is a cybernetics roll, maybe not, but I just sort of look at it as though it has something to say to me and wait for a while until either I get too drowsy to stay awake or it does in fact say something.
So it's not a cybernetics roll, but it is a clever roll. So roll 2d6 plus 2.
That is 6 plus 2 is 8.
It is resolutely uncommunicative. But just as you are about to slip into sleep for the night, you get a notification. It's from an unknown number. Or, in this case, I guess it's from an unknown username, because it's not necessarily like a text message. And it just says, "You and I are both seekers, but you have found a fragment of the truth. Are you willing to share your knowledge in pursuit of a concrete answer?" And that's where we'll end our session.
Tell the call to destiny that there's nobody fucking home.
Refusal of the call.exe.
Please. Refusal of the call.bat.
Yes, of course. How silly of me.
Well, that concludes this session of Dice Punks. Thanks for joining us, and I hope our players and listeners enjoyed it as much as I did, which was a lot in this case. I hope that you all join us again next time. If you're hearing this, then you probably know where to listen to us, but we can be found in almost any place that one can listen to podcasts, as well as on the wider web at dicepunks.com, and on co-host and Tumblr as at dicepunks. With that, I think we're ready to say farewell, so say goodbye to the kind folks back on Earth, players.
Thanks for listening. Love your friends. Stay alive. Try the weird sandwich.
Thank you for listening, everyone. When in doubt, just keep blasting.
Thanks for listening, folks. And if you get cryptic messages from unknown numbers, ignore them.
Just solid advice.
The phishing scam.
Indeed. Thanks for listening. If you're listening, that means that the world still is intact, and that's a good thing.
Wow, Nick.
True indeed.
It's not a given.
And as the poet once said, hazy hibernation, our hallucinations come on so strong that now we've all forgotten. Am I still a human now? I'm feeling so confused and I want to shout out loud, let us out your house. I'm tripping in the basement. Beloved listeners, thank you for tuning in. Stick around through the admin stuff for a G-Pole campus safety briefing with Officer Armitage. The main theme for this campaign, Augment or Die, is by Emerson Boatwright and our very own mechanical person, Drew. You can find links to more of their music in the show notes. Editing and our rad new cover art was done by Joanne, who's appeared on the podcast now and again. Check out her work around the internet where she goes by Anything Sews. Site design and graphics for DicePunks.com are by the one and only Officer Armitage, Robin. Hardwired Island is by Paul Macievich, Freya Erlingsdottir, and Minerva McJonda. You can find Hardwired Island at etten.itch.io/hardwired island, hyphens between those last three. Links to the system and authors can be found on the Punk Grimoire section of our website, dicepunks.com. Thanks so much for listening. If you liked what you heard, that's reward enough on its own, but if you're so inclined, you can help us out by rating and reviewing us wherever you listen to us, telling your friends who you think would like us to give us a listen, and even by heading over to our Patreon at patreon.com/dicepunks. We have fun rewards available to backers, including a patron-only Discord and access to the Dice Peaks After Show for episodes 1.1 and following. Regardless, we hope you'll tune in again, and until then, remember, subtlety is for cowards.
Let's see. Greetings, students. This is Officer Armitage with your weekly G-Pole campus security briefing, brought to you by your friends at Polytech Security Solutions. This week, let's shine a light on security. Honestly, who writes this shit? Let's shine a light on security by talking about the emergency blue light phones on campus. As part of a comprehensive campaign to increase campus safety, PSS is proud to announce that an additional 10 emergency phones have been installed on campus. These are your direct lines to Polytech Security Solutions' premier security services. Need help? Look for the blue light, pick up the phone receiver, and tell the dispatcher on the other side the situation. PSS is poised to respond to fires, crimes in progress, medical emergencies, accidents, or just reporting suspicious activity. No need to share your location or information. These emergency phones automatically read the chip in your student ID to gather your contact information. Student IDs should be within a radius of 5 feet if you want the PSS to have your data. Hey, you never know if someone might drop their purse in a panic or something. So if you want the PSS to have your data, ensure that you're within 5 feet of these emergency blue light phones on campus. Anyway, this has been your campus safety briefing. You can visit gpol.edu/PSS/blue light on safety for an interactive map of where these safety phones are located. There's also a handy dandy form there to voice comments or complaints to the PSS. It's tucked away at the bottom of the page if you need it. Polytech Security Solutions, serving our future by protecting the present.